Right, Broken Oars listeners, this is just if you're a regular viewer and this is popping up on your subscription feed, well, first of all, thank you very much for subscribing, but this is very much for people who are going to purchase or have purchased this thing here, which is the Broken Oars updated Power Widget. Now, this allows you to do something that's actually quite useful if you are properly into racing or testing on an indoor rowing machine over a wide variety of distances. So essentially, what you can do, it allows you to create a performance curve. So here we go. We've got minutes along the bottom. We've got power in watts up the side. And so we can see, depending on how long we go, so for instance here, about 6.5 minutes, because that was my 2K score. 6 minutes and 23 seconds or something, so it's closer to 6.5 minutes than it is to 6 minutes and 15 seconds, and we break it down by 15 seconds. So right there, I'm just going to adjust that slightly. So there you go, 6.25 minutes and 395 watts. So that will allow us to know what our performances are in relation to all our other performances, which is really kind of helpful. Now, we're selling this as a little Excel widget, okay, and we're going to sell it through our Buy Me a Coffee site, and here you go, this is the Evil Sports Science Power Widget. We've got Aaron's Northumbria album, which is worth a listen. Okay, we've also got Dr. Anoxia's 5K training program, the 500 meter ergo program, and the eternally fun and eternally painful 1000 meter ergo training program. But we're back, we're talking about this one. If you click through to this one, you will see there is going to be a YouTube tutorial, which is what I'm doing right now. That's kind of meta, but never mind. Let's come back to what you can do with this. So essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to go here to the time versus watts data entry. And here you've got distance versus watts data entry. Very similar kind of thing. And you've got the multiple time versus watts data entry here. Now, what these are going to allow you to do, let's just come back here. Time versus watts data entry. So most of these cells are locked, so you can't do anything to that one. There you go. Can't change that one. But what you can do is you can change this. Yes, so what I've got here, that's my low pull over about 15 seconds. That is the max power I can produce over 15 seconds. This was a 1 minute test I did a couple of years ago. And that was the 500 meter test that I did about, I'm going to get the words out in a second. I think it was last December, actually, which got me the silver medal at the British Indoors. So, what this enables you to do, so if I were to come along here and I go, that 6 minutes, so for a 600 meter time, which I think was about there, and I did that in, now, please notice how I'm going to do this, because we've got to do this in the correct format. So we go 01, colon, and I think it's 26.8. And then we click down there. And this brings up our watts and our percentage of 2K power. Now, we've locked our percentage of 2K power into here, which is down here, C27. So there we go, that's 100. You can change that. You can change this column here. So you can change the C27 to, I don't know, C18 if you were immensely powerful as an individual. But what this then does, if we come around here and go watts versus time, ooh, there we go. That's just popped up in there. And as you can see, that's my instantaneous power that I've listed as essentially 15 seconds. That was my 1 minute. And that is my, that's my 500 meter. And you come around here and this is my 1000 meter, my 4 minute test, my 2K test. And then you start to get into all these things here, which is a 5000 meter, This was my 10,000 meter. I've got a half-hour time in there somewhere. Also got my 60-minute, and that was my half marathon. You can see that little dip down there is because I had a wobble halfway through my half marathon time, and I probably lost a split over the whole thing, or at least that's what I like to tell people. But anyway, you can do this. Now, you can also do this, and it does this automatically. This can do for percentage of 2k watts, and it just brings you all these guys around here. Now, if I kind of look at this, I might have to change this and select the data. Oh no, there we go, it's popped up. But you can also do distance versus 2k. And so look, here you've got like distance times 100 meters. And I come in here, I do this one, and I'll just put 120, no, do it correct, 01 colon 26.8 for the 600 meters. I click that one in there, you see it brings it all up nicely. And then I can look at my graph. Hasn't that brought it up? 1, 2, 3. It probably will. I probably just need to make sure this is. In fact, just to show you, select data. This is series 5. And we'll go edit, series 5. Series name, distance versus what's entry data. Okay, no, hang on, we need to edit that. Come here. And we'll do all this all over again. And we're going to bring it right down here. This is my half marathon score, so that's 21,100 meters. I click that one in. You go series name. Watts. Click that, you go OK. And there, it's brought it in. As you can see, I was a little bit slow. My sprinting was not very good on that day. So you can see it's about 500 and something or other watts. And we come down here and it's in between 4 and 8. So it's, so that's the 600 meter mark. Now, I've got these lovely curves. Now, before we do anything else, I'm just going to delete that because I'm going to show you how to do the curve. So I delete that and it goes back to divide by 0. Everything's fine. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look at this. Now, because what we are dealing with here is essentially two systems. So round here, you've got the anaerobic system. Around here, you've got the aerobic system. And around here, you've got the combination of the two. You shouldn't really ask Excel to draw the graph for you. It can draw polynomials. And in some cases, it can even get them right. But it's not great for this one. So I'm going to say, we'll get rid of this and I'll show you how to draw your curve. And so you come here, you write shapes, and you use this one, curve. And you literally, I'm going to click in here, and from there, just to the middle, from there, right, and I'm just going to go down here like so. No, that didn't work, did it? Let's just do that again. Delete, insert, shapes, curve, right in the middle, right in the middle, middle. You're probably watching me pull loads of funny faces while I do this. Here we go. Right along there, right through to there, and right through to there. And then you press escape, and you've got a nice little curve. Now, what you can use that curve for is predicting your speed over a distance you haven't done. But here we've got a figure for my 2,000 meter. Here we've got a figure for my 5,000 meter. So we draw this helpful little line up here, and Excel will do that using the arrow function. We'll draw that up from 3,000 between 2,800 meters and 3,200 meters, because I can do maths. We'll draw that one up to the line. We draw it over, and as you can kind of see, I'm just going to lift that one up there. So it's somewhere between 350 and 375 watts. Now, the last version of this had a rather clunky graph that I drew. However, we now have a conversion thing here. So if we're saying I want to say go out on a certain number of watts, and I want to know what those watts are, but I don't want to use watts on my PM5, all I have to do is go 362.5, and there you go. You've got 138.8. That would be my suggested, if I was healthy and fit, and I didn't have a cold at the moment, and I wasn't losing speed every single year, which I am, which is just tragic, but there we go. But that would be my projected, suggested, personal 3,000 meter pace. Now, obviously, if I just went out at 138, I'd probably blow. So I'd need to sit there and take into account my personal circumstances when I did it. So if I was going to jump back on the rowing machine and do that this afternoon, I'd probably have to do it at 145. And I still wouldn't be particularly comfortable. But if I was fit, I'd done a lot of training, I would have to realise I did this about 2 years ago, these data points, and so I'm going to have to drop them back down. It's not a perfect prediction tool. It's an indication of where you are. It's a very, very good point, particularly if you're entertaining a negative split strategy. It's a very, very good way of thinking, right, this is going to give me a really good starting split, maybe a couple of splits or a split and a half above this, and I'm going to work down and try and work through that as we go. So, that is the little instructional video. Please may I remind you and implore you that you can buy this at buymeacoffee.com/brokenoars/extras. And here we go. We've got our various different things on sale here that you can use, all of which are very useful. I hope we are not promising that they will make you the fastest rower over 5K, 500 meters or 1,000 meters in all of human history. We are promising they will make you a bit faster if you follow them rigorously. And also, they're a way of gaining a little bit of extra value if you want to support the pod. And that's, I think, the main purpose of these, because we've had a lot of really generous listeners who've said, we like what you're doing, here's a coffee, and we like to give back a little bit by providing these various training programs and widgets that we'll be updating from time to time. So thank you very much for listening. If you bought the widget, thank you very much, and I hope this has been a useful and helpful introduction to the Broken Oars Power Widget.